Before you close your eyes tonight, speak to the invisible supply that has already been prepared for you. Money is not far away. It is not something you must chase. It is not something you must beg for. It is here, awaiting your recognition, waiting for your acceptance, waiting for your command. The world is rich with overflowing abundance, and you are not left out of that divine provision. As you lay your head upon your pillow, say with unwavering faith, I rest in the perfect law of increase. The wealth that belongs to me by divine right flows to me freely, easily, and joyously. Money seeks me, money finds me, money blesses me, and money multiplies through me. Release all fear, for fear shuts the door. Release all doubt, for doubt delays the gift. Tonight, you stand in perfect agreement with the infinite source that never runs dry. The same spirit that painted the stars and set the oceans in place has already arranged for you to wake up in a morning, filled with opportunities, filled with provision, filled with open doors. Every thought you hold tonight is a seed planted in the soil of tomorrow. If you sow lack, you will reap lack. If you sow faith, you will reap miracles. Therefore, speak only words of wealth, speak only words of abundance, speak only words of increase. Let your last thoughts before drifting into sleep be a decree of prosperity, and the morning shall answer back with results. Say this with conviction, I am rich in mind, rich in faith, rich in supply. I sleep knowing that unseen hands are working for me, arranging divine appointments, delivering divine ideas, unlocking divine resources. I shall awaken refreshed, renewed, and rewarded. Money is waiting for me, and I rise to meet it. As you surrender to rest, imagine golden rivers of prosperity flowing toward you. Imagine debts dissolved like mist under the rising sun. Imagine blessings landing at your door with effortless ease. Hold these visions as truth, not as fantasy, for the unseen becomes seen when faith refuses to waver. Tonight, align yourself with the rhythm of increase. Tonight, align yourself with the certainty that what is yours cannot be withheld. Tonight, align yourself with the knowing that money is already on its way. And when morning comes, you will rise not only to a new day, but to a new demonstration of the wealth that has been awaiting your claim. When you speak abundance into your sleep, you are doing more than repeating words. You are shaping the very atmosphere of your tomorrow. The mind is most open and receptive before rest, and the words you choose to release in those sacred moments become the blueprint upon which the unseen world builds. Night is not simply for slumber. It is a divine chamber where thoughts crystallize into form. When you declare wealth before sleep, you are handing your subconscious a map of prosperity, and the subconscious never questions. It only accepts and obeys. Whatever command you give it before surrendering to dreams, it will carry out with diligence. So when you choose abundance, you are sending forth silent messengers to prepare your path for the morning. Consider the way seeds are planted in the soil. The gardener does not see immediate results, but trusts that under the surface, invisible processes are at work. The same is true when you plant words of wealth before resting your head. The soil of the subconscious receives them, nurtures them, and brings them forth in the right time. If you whisper lack, the soil brings lack. If you decree prosperity, the soil brings prosperity. Your nighttime declarations are seeds that push up into the light of day, manifesting as opportunities, divine ideas, unexpected channels of income, and effortless supply. This is why you must be careful, for careless words spoken before sleep can just as easily plant weeds. Abundance is not an accident, it is a choice, and the time before sleep is one of the most powerful moments to make that choice. There is a law in the universe that responds to faith-filled words, and that law does not sleep. It continues to work while you rest. When you go to bed burdened with fear about bills, debts, or money, you send that fear into the law, and the law faithfully returns more reasons to fear. But when you go to bed affirming wealth, declaring provision, and envisioning gold flowing into your life, that same law brings it back multiplied. The night is your silent ally. The night is when angels of supply take flight on the words you release. If you choose to bless yourself with words of wealth, your morning will reflect that blessing in tangible ways. Many live as though their last thoughts do not matter, but they are unaware that the subconscious keeps the record of those thoughts all through the night. Worry, doubt, fear, and anger create restless dreams and restless mornings. Faith, gratitude, and prosperity create peaceful sleep and mornings filled with expectancy. When you speak abundance into your sleep, you go beyond wishful thinking. You give yourself a decree, a spiritual law, and the law cannot return void. Every word spoken with faith becomes a creative force. Every word spoken with certainty becomes substance waiting to appear. By saying, I am rich, I am prosperous, I am blessed, you are not pretending. You are commanding the invisible to take shape in your visible world. Imagine the difference between one who closes their eyes each night with heavy burdens and one who closes their eyes declaring, I rest in wealth, I wake in wealth, and wealth follows me wherever I go. The first wakes to the same cycle of struggle, for their thoughts multiplied overnight. The second wakes to signs and wonders, because their words charged the atmosphere with supply. The universe does not discriminate. It simply mirrors what you believe and what you declare. If you believe poverty is your lot, the mirror shows you poverty. If you believe abundance belongs to you, the mirror shows you abundance. Night is the perfect moment to polish that mirror, to speak what you desire, and to rest knowing it will return. Abundance spoken into your sleep does not only affect money, it transforms your energy. When you align with wealth and thought, you wake lighter, brighter, ready to act, ready to receive. Money is energy, and when your energy vibrates with lack, it repels supply. When it vibrates with increase, it attracts supply. This vibration is set before sleep. You charge your inner field with either scarcity or wealth. You cannot sow scarcity at night and reap prosperity in the morning. You cannot sow fear and expect miracles. But you can sow faith, you can sow gratitude, you can sow decrees of riches, and the morning will show proof that the soil has done its work. Speaking abundance before sleep also releases the burden of control. Many strive all day to force money into their lives, exhausting themselves with worry, yet abundance is never attracted by strain. It comes by alignment. When you affirm wealth before sleep, you are letting go of struggle and trusting the higher law to provide. You rest knowing that provision is already on the way, that supply is already yours, that wealth is already seeking you. This rest is not laziness, it is power. It is the power of surrender to the law of prosperity, and surrender opens doors effort cannot. By speaking abundance, you hand the work to the unseen forces, and you allow them to do for you what you cannot do alone. The ancients understood this principle and wrapped their prayers, affirmations, and decrees around the night hours. They knew the veil between the seen and unseen thins at rest. They knew that words spoken with intention before sleep went straight into the womb of creation. You are continuing this practice each time you choose to affirm wealth. Each declaration is like a torch lit in the darkness, guiding the riches that belong to you to your very doorstep. Each word is a magnet pulling opportunities, connections, and blessings into alignment. The more consistent you are, the more quickly the results arrive, for consistency builds momentum and momentum becomes manifestation. So each night, rather than repeating the stories of lack or rehearsing the problems of the day, choose instead to speak as if money were already yours. Speak as if supply were standing at your bedside. Speak as if wealth were rushing into your life with eagerness. And as you drift into the quiet of sleep, know that you have set in motion the invisible forces that will greet you in the morning with evidence of your faith. Money is not far. It is already prepared for you, waiting for your recognition and acceptance. The great mistake many people make is believing that money is something distant, something difficult, something elusive that must be chased with desperation. They see it as a mountain that cannot be climbed or a treasure hidden away from them, but this is not truth. Money, like air, like sunlight, like rain, is part of the natural flow of life. It is already present in abundance all around you, waiting for your awareness to draw it near. When you believe it is far, it remains far. When you believe it is near, it comes closer. When you know it is already yours by divine right, it shows up in forms you could not have imagined. The river does not question where the water will come from. The tree does not beg for the sunlight to appear. The flower does not chase the bee to bring its nectar. Each trusts the natural flow of life. In the same way, money is woven into the fabric of your existence. The supply is already here, already circulating, already waiting for your invitation. You do not create money by strain, you align with money by belief. Recognition is the key. You must first recognize that wealth is not scarce, wealth is not selective, wealth is not denied to you. The universe is impartial. It holds treasure in store for every soul, but only those who open the door of acceptance can walk into it. This is why two people can stand in the same place, one experiencing lack, the other prosperity. It is not the outer world that makes the difference. It is the recognition within. To recognize money, as near as to shift the lens through which you see life. When you wake in the morning and affirm, "Money is prepared for me today, waiting for me," you begin to notice doors that were invisible before. You begin to see opportunities where others see obstacles. The phone call that seems random becomes a channel of supply. The idea that comes in a quiet moment becomes a stream of income. The simple act of being in the right place, at the right time, becomes the evidence that provision was already arranged. This is not coincidence. It is recognition. You are no longer blind to supply because you have declared its nearness. Acceptance is the second part of the law. Recognition without acceptance is like seeing a feast prepared and refusing to sit at the table. Many recognize that wealth exists but feel unworthy of it. They say, "Others may prosper, but not me." They believe wealth is for the chosen few, the privileged, or the lucky. This belief blocks the flow. Acceptance says, "I am worthy. It is my divine right to prosper. Money is prepared for me and I gladly receive it." When you speak this with conviction, you unlock channels that had been closed. Money responds to worthiness. It does not come to those who beg, it comes to those who claim. It comes to those who know they have a right to it. It comes to those who accept without guilt or hesitation. Money is already prepared in countless ways. The opportunities you have yet to see, the people you have yet to meet, the talents you have yet to use, the ideas waiting to be born. All of these are forms of money waiting. You may think supply must come through your job, your business, or your current channel, but the truth is that infinite channels exist. To limit yourself to one path is to deny the abundance that surrounds you. When you recognize money as near, you stop asking, "Where will it come from?" and instead say, "It is already here, and it can come in any way." That openness makes you magnetic to supply. The more you release rigid expectations, the more you allow wealth to appear effortlessly. Sometimes through avenues you would never expect. The belief that money is far is rooted in fear. Fear whispers that there is not enough. Fear tells you that you are behind. Fear convinces you that you must struggle and compete. But fear is an illusion, and illusions dissolve under the light of truth. The truth is that the source of money is infinite, inexhaustible, and overflowing. The truth is that no one can take what belongs to you. The truth is that wealth is prepared in advance, awaiting only your permission to enter. Fear closes the door, faith opens it. Fear delays, faith accelerates. Fear shrinks the channels, faith multiplies them. By declaring money is not far, you break the grip of fear, and stand in the certainty that supply is close, certain. And guaranteed money is also prepared in the sense that it already exists in the unseen before it appears in the seen. Just as the seed contains the oak tree within it, your words and beliefs contain your financial harvest within them. When you affirm, "Money is waiting for me," you are speaking of the unseen reality that is already true. The manifestation may come tomorrow, next week, or in a month, but the reality already exists. Faith holds on to that unseen reality until it becomes visible. The world tells you to only believe what you can see. The law of abundance tells you to see it within before it shows without. If you can hold the unseen picture of money waiting, then the outer world must eventually reflect it. When you live as if money is far, you live in delay, constantly postponing your prosperity to a future day that never arrives. When you live as if money is already near, you live in readiness. You walk with expectancy, you speak with confidence, you act with boldness. Readiness itself is a magnet. The person who is ready to receive will always be given more. The one who says, "It is too far, it cannot happen for me," locks themselves out of the blessing. Readiness is not about how much you already have, it is about your posture of acceptance. A poor man who recognizes and accepts wealth within will rise faster than a rich man who clings to fear of losing. It is the inner posture that matters. Your recognition and acceptance also determine how money treats you. When you see it as far, you chase it, and it runs. When you see it as near, it comes closer, like a faithful servant. When you accept it as a natural part of life, it flows with ease. But when you reject it through guilt, doubt, or fear, it resists. Money is energy that responds to the energy you release. Speak to it as a friend, not as a stranger. Welcome it as a guest already at the door, not as someone who must be begged to visit. The moment you do, you find it responds with loyalty and consistency, tonight and every night. Remind yourself that money is not across the world, hidden behind impossible walls, or reserved for others. It is prepared for you, here and now, waiting to enter. Say aloud, money is near me. Money is prepared for me. Money flows to me. Let those words sink deep into your being. The more you say it, the more you believe it. The more you believe it, the more you see evidence of it. And soon, you will know with unshakable certainty that money was never far at all. It was waiting for you to recognize and accept it all along. Fear and doubt shut the door to supply, but faith and conviction swing it wide open. The invisible law of abundance is always operating, always ready to deliver what is spoken and believed, yet it cannot override the beliefs you hold within. When you cling to fear, you are in essence telling the law, I do not trust in supply. I do not believe provision is near. I do not feel worthy to receive. And because the law obeys, it reflects back lack, delays, and struggle. Doubt is the thief of prosperity. Fear is the barrier that keeps wealth at bay. But faith is the master key that unlocks the storehouse. And conviction is the force that keeps the door open long enough for blessings to rush. In every moment of your life you are standing at a door. Behind it lies abundance in limitless measure. Your thoughts and emotions determine whether that door is closed or open. Fear whispers that you will not have enough, that tomorrow is uncertain, that money is scarce. Doubt questions whether the words you affirm truly carry power, whether the unseen is really listening, whether provision could possibly come for you. Each of these states of mind is like adding locks and chains to the door, making it harder for supply to flow through. On the other hand, when you choose faith, when you decide to believe without needing proof, you remove the chains. When you speak with conviction, knowing that your words are laws in themselves, the door swings wide and supply pours through in surprising, effortless ways. Think of electricity flowing through a wire. If the wire is whole and unbroken, the current moves easily, bringing light and power. But if the wire is damaged, frayed, or cut, the current cannot reach its destination. Fear and doubt are the breaks in the wire of your prosperity. They interrupt the current of abundance. Faith and conviction repair the wire, allowing the flow to move unimpeded. Many people live with short bursts of supply, because they allow moments of belief followed quickly by doubt. They speak wealth with their lips, and then cancel it with fear in their hearts. They hold faith for a moment, but allow it to collapse under the weight of worry. This is why results appear inconsistent. Only when faith becomes steady and conviction unshakable does the current of wealth flow continually, lighting every area of life. Faith is not simply hoping, it is knowing. Hope says, maybe it will come. Faith says, it is already here. Conviction adds force to that faith, making it unmovable by circumstances. When bills appear, fear sees a wall. Faith sees an opportunity for provision to show itself. When delays come, doubt says the promise is broken. Conviction says the promise is inevitable. When others around you complain of lack, fear agrees with their story. Faith stands apart and speaks abundance regardless of appearances. This is why the world calls the faithful unrealistic, but time and again, those who hold faith find themselves walking in the very wealth they once affirmed, when there was no sign of it at all. Fear has many disguises. It appears as worry about tomorrow, as guilt about the past, as hesitation in the present. It shows up in the belief that money is hard to earn, that success is reserved for others, that opportunities are few. Doubt creeps in silently, questioning whether affirmations work, whether unseen supply is real, whether prosperity can truly come with ease. These thoughts, though subtle, are powerful enough to shut doors. They plant weeds in the soil of the subconscious, choking out the seeds of prosperity. But weeds cannot thrive where the gardener is watchful. The moment fear or doubt arises, you must counter it with faith-filled words. Say aloud, I refuse to believe in lack. I know that supply is infinite. I know that wealth is mine by right. I know the law is working now. In doing so, you strip fear of its power and re-establish faith as the ruler of your mind. Conviction is built through repetition. Just as a muscle grows stronger by repeated use, faith grows stronger by repeated declaration. Every night you affirm wealth before sleep. Every morning you rise and declare abundance. Every time you choose to speak prosperity in the face of lack, you are building conviction. Over time, conviction becomes so deeply rooted that fear has no ground to stand on. At this point, doors that were once closed swing open with little effort. Money begins to arrive in ways that feel miraculous, but are simply the natural response of the law to your unwavering belief. Opportunities multiply, debts dissolve, channels of income expand, all because the door is open wide and kept open by conviction. Imagine a house filled with treasures, each room overflowing with riches prepared for you. The key to that house is faith. Fear may tell you the key is too small to open such a door, but once you insert it, the lock yields easily. Doubt may tell you the rooms are empty, but once you enter, you see they are full. Conviction allows you to walk through those rooms without hesitation, gathering the wealth that has always been yours. Without faith, you stand outside the house, shivering in lack while riches wait within. Without conviction, you may open the door but quickly step back out, unsure whether you are welcome. With both faith and conviction, you live inside the house, enjoying the treasures without apology. Knowing they were prepared for you all along. Fear is loud, but faith is stronger. Fear may shake you for a moment, but conviction restores you. Fear may present evidence of lack, but faith reminds you of the greater law of supply. Fear shuts doors quickly, but conviction holds them open until provision arrives. This is why it is not enough to have fleeting moments of belief. You must train your heart to stand firm, to believe in abundance even when your eyes see lack, to speak prosperity even when your circumstances contradict it. The more you practice, the easier it becomes. And soon your natural state is faith rather than fear, conviction rather than doubt. When you reach that state, prosperity becomes a constant companion. Money flows toward you because the door is no longer shut. Ideas come with clarity, opportunities align with ease, people appear at the right moment. You become magnetic because the law of abundance can finally do its work without obstruction. The unseen forces of supply no longer wait outside a closed door but stream freely into your life, bringing more than enough, bringing overflow, bringing blessings pressed down and running over. All because you chose faith instead of fear, conviction instead of doubt, certainty instead of hesitation. Every thought before rest is a seed. Choose to sow prosperity, increase, and divine provision. The moments before sleep are sacred, for the conscious mind grows quiet and the subconscious takes command. What you impress upon it in those final thoughts becomes the pattern for what will be expressed. Just as a farmer does not throw any seed carelessly into the soil, but selects what he wishes to harvest, you too must carefully select the thoughts you plant before closing your eyes. If you sow fear, you will reap more reasons to fear. If you sow lack, you will reap more evidence of lack. But if you sow prosperity, if you sow increase, if you sow divine provision, the harvest will appear in your life in ways both expected and unexpected. The subconscious does not argue, it does not reason, it does not reject. It accepts the last command given to it and works throughout the night to bring it to pass. This is why the time before rest is so powerful. Throughout the day, your mind is bombarded with noise, worries, and distractions, but at night, when you prepare for sleep, there is silence, and in that silence the words you speak are magnified. To say, I am blessed, I am provided for, I am prosperous, in those final moments is to drop golden seeds into fertile ground. By morning, unseen forces have already begun to move on your behalf. Doors shift, energy aligns, new opportunities stir. What you planted the night before begins to rise toward manifestation. Many people unknowingly plant seeds of struggle in the moments before sleep. They replay the troubles of the day. They worry about bills, they imagine worst-case scenarios. Then they wonder why the next day brings more of the same. The law cannot be fooled. The soil only gives back what was sown. The subconscious only brings forth what was impressed upon it. The law of life says that whatever you plant must grow, whether it be weeds or wheat, lack or plenty, fear or faith. The wise soul understands this and chooses to guard the garden of the mind in the hours before rest. The wise soul says, I will not plant weeds in my own soil. I will plant seeds of abundance, seeds of peace, seeds of prosperity. And those who do so see the harvest in the days and weeks that follow. Sowing prosperity is not about wishful thinking, it is about commanding truth. The universe is already rich and full, overflowing with resources, overflowing with supply. You are not asking it to create wealth for you, you are asking it to direct the wealth that already exists into your experience. When you affirm, I receive divine provision as I sleep, you are simply aligning yourself with what has always been true. The supply has always been there. The channels have always been waiting. The opportunities have always been prepared. But until you sow the right seed, you cannot harvest the right result. By choosing your words with care before sleep, you are giving the subconscious specific instructions. Bring me prosperity, bring me increase, bring me provision. And like a faithful servant, it obeys. Increase is the natural law of life. The seed grows into a tree, the bud into a flower, the stream into a river. Life is always moving toward more, toward expansion, toward greater expression. When you sow thoughts of increase, you are aligning with the very rhythm of creation. To say, my wealth grows while I sleep, is to echo the same law that causes the grass to grow in the night, and the stars to shine without effort. Divine provision does not struggle, it does not delay, it flows in perfect time. And your task is not to force it, but to plant the right seed and rest in confidence that the law will do the work. You do not stay awake all night staring at a garden, demanding the seed to sprout. You trust that the soil knows what to do. In the same way, you do not need to worry once you have spoken prosperity into your sleep. You rest, you release. You trust that the soil of the subconscious will bring it forth. The images you hold before sleep are also seeds. To imagine yourself surrounded by abundance, to picture debts dissolved, to see yourself walking in wealth, is to water the words you speak. Words and images together form the blueprint for tomorrow's experiences. The subconscious does not distinguish between real and imagined, it accepts both as commands. If you see yourself poor, struggling, lacking, then that is the picture it follows. If you see yourself prosperous, free, and overflowing, it follows that picture with precision. This is why visualization before sleep is powerful. It is like drawing a map for the unseen forces to follow. By morning, steps are already ordered along that map, leading you to the very prosperity you envisioned. Even gratitude is a seed. To lie down and whisper, thank you for the abundance flowing to me. Thank you for the provision already mine. Thank you for the increase that is certain. Is to multiply blessings before they arrive. Gratitude turns a seed into a harvest more quickly, because it is the recognition that the harvest already exists. Gratitude is faith in action. It says, I do not need to see it yet to know it is mine. And the universe responds to gratitude with greater supply, just as the earth responds to the gardener, who tends with care and reverence. Every night you plant gratitude in your thoughts. You are expanding your capacity to receive more the next day. It is not the length of the declaration that matters, it is the conviction behind it. One short statement spoken with faith before sleep can change the entire course of your day. A few words charged with belief are more powerful than hours of worry. The subconscious magnifies what it receives with intensity, not what it receives with quantity. So when you say with full heart, I am prospered while I sleep, I am supplied in the morning, I am rich in every way, those words are seeds filled with power. They contain within them the harvest of money, opportunities, ideas, and favor, and they cannot return empty. When you understand that every thought before rest is a seed, you no longer treat your last moments lightly. You no longer allow random fears or careless words to occupy your mind. You become intentional, you become deliberate, you become a master gardener of your inner soil, and soon the evidence appears. Unexpected money arrives, new opportunities emerge, old debts dissolve, fresh inspiration awakens. The harvest always matches the seed, and the seed is always chosen by you in the final moments before sleep. To choose prosperity, to choose increase, to choose divine provision, is to guarantee that your mornings will be rich with the fruits of what you planted the night before. Unseen forces work while you sleep, arranging opportunities so that money seeks and finds you with ease. The hours of rest are not idle hours. They are hours when the invisible world is most active on your behalf. Just as the earth continues to turn while you close your eyes, just as the heart continues to beat without effort, so too do spiritual forces continue to operate, aligning circumstances, moving people, and preparing blessings. You may think nothing is happening while you rest, but the truth is that everything is happening. Invisible hands are arranging the stage, so that when you awaken, the right doors are open, the right connections are made, and the right ideas are ready to rise within you. Money is not only waiting, it is being guided toward you even as you dream. There are currents of energy that never stop flowing. These currents carry supply, they carry opportunities, they carry solutions. When you declare abundance before sleep, you release those currents into motion on your behalf. Words spoken with faith are like messengers sent into the night. They do not wander aimlessly, they go directly to prepare your way. They may inspire someone to remember you. They may stir a new idea in the mind of another that leads to your prosperity. They may shift circumstances so that what was once blocked suddenly becomes accessible. You cannot see these movements with your physical eyes, but they are real and certain. The unseen world is always first, and the seen world is simply its reflection. To know this is to rest in peace, trusting that while you sleep, wealth is being guided to you. Money is energy, and energy is never still. It circulates, it moves, it seeks direction. When you affirm wealth at night, you give it direction. You call it by name, you tell it where to go, and it obeys. This is why some wake to unexpected checks, surprise opportunities, or sudden bursts of inspiration. It is not luck, it is law. The law of supply responded to the decree that was given before rest. Just as water finds its way down a mountain, cutting through rock to reach the valley, so too does money find its way to you once you have spoken it into being. The unseen forces are like rivers carving new channels, making paths where there seem to be none, ensuring that money arrives at your feet without struggle. The sleeping hours are also the time when the subconscious is most active, and the subconscious is the meeting ground between you and the unseen forces. It is the bridge between spirit and matter, the soil that receives the seeds of your words and collaborates with invisible powers to bring them to life. While you rest, your subconscious carries out the instructions you gave it, and the unseen world supports its work. If you said, "I am prospered as I sleep, money seeks me, money finds me," then all night your inner being is in harmony with universal supply. Together they weave a tapestry of events that lead to financial increase. By morning, you rise into a reality that was already prepared for you in the night. Opportunities are rarely accidents. They are the visible result of invisible arrangements. The person who calls you with an offer, the chance encounter with someone who opens a door, the sudden idea that turns into income. These are not random. They are answers to the words you spoke before sleep. They are the evidence of unseen forces carrying out their assignment. This is why it is vital not to go to bed with words of lack on your lips. To say, "I don't know how I'll make it, I fear tomorrow," is to send forth unseen forces in confusion, arranging more of what you fear. But to say, "Money comes to me easily, opportunities greet me in the morning, I rise into provision," is to send them forth with clear instruction, arranging prosperity on your behalf. Consider how nature mirrors this principle. The farmer plants at dusk and trusts the unseen work of the soil through the night. He does not dig up the seed to check its progress, he rests knowing the soil is active. By dawn, the work is already underway. The same law governs your prosperity. The seed of your words, once planted before sleep, is nurtured by unseen powers that never rest. They take the essence of your affirmation and set in motion the conditions necessary for its fulfillment. To doubt this is to uproot the seed. To believe this is to ensure the harvest. The unseen does not need your effort through the night. It needs only your faith before you close your eyes. Money seeks those who welcome it. It does not resist. It does not hide. It simply responds to the vibration you send out. When your last thoughts are of wealth, when your words declare abundance, you emit a signal that unseen forces amplify and carry outward. That signal draws money, attracts opportunities, calls forth provision. Just as a lighthouse sends out light that guides ships in the night, your affirmations send out a light that guides wealth toward you. Even as you sleep, that light shines, and money follows it until it arrives in your experience. You do not chase it, you do not beg it, you simply allow it to find you with ease. Dreams themselves often carry messages from the unseen world. In the silence of sleep, when the conscious mind has stepped aside, the subconscious and spirit commune freely. Ideas may surface in dreams, guidance may appear, solutions may present themselves in symbols or direct impressions. These too are evidence of unseen forces working. Many great inventions, businesses, and breakthroughs have come through dreams, born in the hours when the body rested, but the soul remained awake. By affirming wealth before sleep, you open the doorway for such guidance, and the dreams you receive may contain the very key to your prosperity. Unseen forces are also arranging timing. They know when to open doors and when to hold them shut for your protection. What looks like delay is often preparation. What looks like denial is often redirection toward something greater. When you affirm money finding you, you place yourself in harmony with perfect timing. You rise in the morning aligned with opportunities that are ripe and ready. The unseen has already removed obstacles, already cleared paths, already softened hearts. You do not see all of this movement, but you feel the ease with which things begin to unfold. Money arrives not by force but by flow, because the unseen has already done the heavy lifting. There is comfort in knowing you are never alone in the work of your prosperity. Even while you sleep, there are forces dedicated to your increase, committed to your provision, active on your behalf. They do not tire, they do not rest, they do not doubt. They carry out the law faithfully, bringing back to you whatever you have sown. When you align with them through words of abundance, you are like a master giving clear instructions to loyal servants. They move at once, arranging the details, ensuring that the morning greets you with evidence of your decree. Money comes because it was called, opportunities arrive because they were summoned, provision appears because it was commanded. All of this happens while you sleep, unseen but certain, invisible but unstoppable.